My plan for the weekend was to record a video of this, my beloved Handyman. So I asked friends and neighbours if they had 91mm knives I could use for a size comparison. And then this gem turned up. And that changed my whole weekend. I was expecting to borrow a collection of Swiss Army knives. What I'd actually borrowed was Victorinox's idea of emergency preparedness in the early 1990s. A Swiss Army knife with a removable watch, a flashlight, a fishing kit, a signalling system, a sharpening stone, and a collection of emergency equipment packed into a leather organizer. This evening, all of this goes back to its owner. So right now we're going to find out exactly what Victorinox thought belonged in a survival system more than 30 years ago. This is the Victorinox Large SOS Kit with SuperTimer, model number 1.8816. And after spending quite a few hours with it and researching it, I can honestly say it is one of the most interesting Victorinox products I have ever handled. Victorinox referred to these kits both as SOS kits and in some period literature as survival kit SOS sets. And after seeing what it's got inside, I can understand why. This isn't just a Swiss Army knife. It's a complete problem-solving system built around one of the most unusual models Victorinox ever produced. One thing that's important to understand is that the Large SOS Kit existed as early on as 1991, before the SuperTimer version. The earlier Large SOS Kit was built around the Swiss Champ. Then in 1992, Victorinox introduced the SuperTimer and they decided to replicate the kit around this new model. That's important because some references associate the Large SOS Kit with 1991, but the SuperTimer itself wasn't introduced until 1992. And so naturally all SuperTimer kits are 1992 or later, until approximately 2003 when it appears that the kits were discontinued, and then 2007, which is when the SuperTimer itself appears to have been phased out. Before we look at the kit, let's work out where the SuperTimer fits into the Victorinox family. This is an Explorer, 4 layers, a classic 91mm Victorinox. This is my Handyman, it's 6 layers, again 91mm, and my personal favourite and workhorse. And finally we have the SuperTimer, 8 layers. Now this is basically Swiss Champ territory, but there's one feature that makes it completely unique, and that is a removable watch. And at 6.77 ounces or 19.3 grams compared to the Handyman's 5.57 ounces and the Explorer's 3.53 ounces, this is definitely not a small knife. But Victorinox weren't trying to build a small knife, they were trying to build a complete system. So what exactly is a SuperTimer? The simplest answer is, think of it as a Swiss Champ with a watch. Tool-wise, the SuperTimer sits right at the top end of Victorinox's 91mm range. You get a large blade, a small blade, scissors, wood saw, a 3-sided metal file, a fish scaler with centimetre and inch markings, a set of precision pliers, a magnifier, an inline Phillips driver, parcel hook, reamer awl, 2.5mm flathead screwdriver, a small chisel, corkscrew, and a precision flathead microdriver. The scale tools carry a pen slot and a toothpick or tweezer slot. And of course the watch in this specialized scale, which is what differentiates it from the Swiss Champ. In practical terms, this wasn't designed as a minimalist everyday carry knife. Victorinox were trying to create a tool capable of handling almost anything. Compared with my Handyman, the SuperTimer gains additional capability through the magnifier, the fish scaler, and this Phillips head driver, which has 2 locking positions. And of course, there's the feature that gave the knife its name, the watch. The SuperTimer was introduced in early 1992. Victorinox had already released the smaller timekeeper model, and the SuperTimer was essentially the Swiss Champ version of the same idea. So yes, somebody looked at a Swiss Champ and thought there wasn't quite enough on it already, so they thought, oh, let's put a watch on this. And the watch on this is actually removable, just with the nail. And that allows for battery replacement and servicing. This example uses the earlier Roman numeral dial, another nice period detail, and one that helps place it among the earlier generations of SuperTimer production. And here's the cavity that it sits in there for the crown, and here on these edges, this is where it clips in. One of the first questions I had when I borrowed this kit was, how old is it? Originally, I thought I might be looking at a 1991 knife because that's when the kit came out itself. But the SuperTimer itself wasn't introduced until early 1992. And previous iterations of the kit had been with a Swiss Champ. That meant I had to go back and reconsider the evidence, and that's where things became interesting. Let's start by looking at the tang on the main blade. So the knife carries the older Officier Suisse tang stamp, as you can see there with the crossbow, as compared to here without it. And together with the 4-line Victorinox Switzerland stainless Rostfrei reverse stamp, this combination is entirely consistent with late 1980s and early 1990s production. As you can see here on my Handyman, it just says Victorinox Swiss-made stainless. Next up, the hook. So the multi-purpose hook was introduced around 1991. So this knife cannot realistically be older than that. Now the scissors, this is where it gets interesting. The scissors still use the older screw-mounted pivot as opposed to the riveted one on newer models. Victorinox transitioned towards riveted scissors around 1991, but transitional examples exist for several years afterwards. So the screw pivot places us very close to the beginning of that transition period, which is exactly where we'd expect an early SuperTimer to sit. Next up, we've got the grey magnifier. So on later models, in the early 2000s, this was replaced with something which is entirely see-through. So it's not a particularly precise date include, but it is consistent with an early 1990s knife. Now for the pliers. These pliers lack the wire crimping feature found on later Victorinox pliers. Now this came in 1995, so that again points towards the earlier part of the production run, so pre-1995. So let's have a look at the corkscrew. Now here you can see that there is a groove that goes all the way around the corkscrew. That is the older groove construction. And as you can see here on my newer Handyman, that groove is no longer there. Now evidence suggests that groove corkscrews may have remained in production until roughly 1994, which fits very neatly with the rest of the evidence. Inside the corkscrews themselves, you find these precision drivers. So this is a precision driver, and as you can see, it is hexagonal in shape with a Victorinox stamp on it. This is the one that goes with my newer Handyman, although I did have to buy it as a separate part. The mini driver that comes as standard with the SuperTimer, however, is perfectly rounded, and it has the word PAT stamped on it into the plastic. That is also an indicator that it's from an older period. This is especially telling actually because 1991 to 1992 was a transition period from these more rounded precision drivers towards something more approximating this hexagonal one. So that puts it squarely in the period of 1991 to 1992. if of course it's the original microdriver that goes with this knife. So no single clue provides an exact year, but together they tell a consistent story. Everything points towards an early SuperTimer, most likely from the 1992 to 1994 period. Now the knife itself is fascinating, but the real story is everything that came with it, because Victorinox weren't simply selling a Swiss Army knife, they were selling a complete preparedness system. And the more I've explored the contents of this kit, the more impressed I've become with how much thought went into it. Let's go through it. So, survival and emergency equipment. This is a genuine signalling mirror. The hole in the center allows you to accurately aim reflected sunlight towards a distant target like a plane. This isn't just a mirror, it's a proper emergency signalling device. According to the original Victorinox contents list, the kit also included a signal whistle. Unfortunately, that's one of the few items missing from this example. A fishing kit. This was one of the biggest surprises for me. Hooks, line, sinkers, a genuine fishing kit, and probably the component that pushes this furthest into traditional survival kit territory. Victorinox also included matches, simple, reliable, and still one of the most practical emergency fire starting methods ever devised. Right, navigation and observation. So here we have the compass module. This compact module contains an impressive amount of functionality. There's a functioning compass, a ruler with both inches and millimeter and centimeter markings, a magnifier, and a thermometer. Now, unfortunately, the thermometer on this example is no longer working. The red indicator has detached itself within the housing and now rattles around freely. But if this thing is more than 30 years old, then maybe some adhesive has come unstuck or something like that, and that's to be expected. Right, for information and communication, we have a small propelling pencil and a folded notebook. Now, this is the original paper, and somebody has actually used it to put a recipe on here. Looks like it's been done with the pencil for a kind of fancy bread recipe involving onion and that kind of thing. So Victorinox chose to include a propelling pencil rather than a pen. So no leaking ink, no dried up cartridges, just reliable writing whenever you need it. And naturally they paired it with a small notebook. So the SOS card. This is one of my favourite items in the entire kit. One side contains personal identification information in case of loss and how to tie some basic knots. The other side contains emergency signalling information and also the full Morse code and how to signal SOS. This is a tiny but incredibly thoughtful addition. So for repair and maintenance, Victorinox included a small sewing kit with white and black thread and 2 sewing needles. Fairly basic, but exactly the sort of thing that becomes useful when you least expect it. Safety pins. The original contents list specified 2 safety pins. This example retains 1, another simple item that can solve a surprising number of problems. We also have here a sharpening stone. So Victorinox didn't just provide a knife, they also provided a way to maintain it. The sharpening stone is small but perfectly suited to keeping the knife functional in the field. Moving on to general utility items, the Maglite Solitaire. So this tiny Maglite was serious technology in the early 1990s, and remarkably the original spare bulb is still present under the spring. There, you should be able to see that in there. And that's the kind of thoughtful detail that fits the philosophy of the entire kit. Now, this uses a AAA battery. This is not the original battery, but let's just see if it still works. There you go, I've switched the main lights off. So let's see if this still works. Twist the top to set it on, and yeah, there you see, it still works. This torch, or flashlight as you call them in the US, is still fully functioning after 30 years. Maglite built to last. Right, and there's also a comb in here. Now that might seem slightly unusual in a survival kit today, but It reflects Victorinox's broader idea of preparedness, so not just surviving, but remaining functional, presentable, and self-sufficient. So tweezers. Now, as we know, inside the knife, we have here in the scale, we have the toothpick. And yeah, the nice thing is that if you want, you can swap it out for a tweezer. Likewise, the spare toothpicks have survived as well. Again, a tiny detail, but one that says a lot about how complete this example is. Okay, so that's what's in the kit. How about what's missing? Fortunately, online we have access to the original contents list, which was the same between the Swiss Champ and the SuperTimer, except of course for the watch scale. So in our kit, as we said before, the emergency whistle is absent, as is one stainless steel safety pin. And in addition to those items, we're also shy 3 band-aids or sticking plasters, and it's worth noting that the brand changed across versions and over time apparently as well. And then finally, we're also missing 3 meters of what is described as nylon string. So other than the whistle, the missing bits are tiny, but collector-wise, they matter. A whistle, some string, a safety pin, and some band-aids. None of these are exciting individually, but together they're the difference between mostly complete and complete. On top of that, there's some visible damage to the watch scale itself. The thermometer is present but not functional, and none of the original leaflets or packaging are present. Might sound like a lot, but personally, for a kit that has seen a lot of use over 30 years, I think that's pretty good. But that's why when you see these kits listed online, condition is only part of the story. Completeness matters too, and sometimes it's the boring little throwaway bits that make the difference. So what are they worth these days? A quick look online suggests these are not just old Swiss Army knives. They're proper collector pieces. In the US listings, I found ordinary Swiss Champ listings are in the $150 to $300 range, depending of course on condition and completeness, while SuperTimer Large SOS kits are being listed around $600, with some examples pushing higher. But again, asking price is not sold price, so treat that as a rough collector market snapshot rather than a proper valuation. Alright, so what impresses me the most isn't the watch or the fishing kit or the signalling mirror or the thermometer and these other tools here. It's more the thinking behind the whole thing. The Morse guide supports the signalling, the mini notebook supports the pencil, and the sharpening stone supports the knife. Every item in here exists for a reason and come together to make a really good kit. This isn't simply a Swiss Army knife, it's Victorinox's vision for self-reliance from the early 1990s. And more than 30 years later, it's still fascinating. Honest to God, this has been one of the most enjoyable Victorinox rabbit holes that I have fallen down in quite some time. And this video is taking pride of place in my Victorinox and Swiss Army knife related playlist. And if you've enjoyed this video, you'll find plenty of other Victorinox related oddities in there. Things like these Versa 5/8 scale tools for 58mm Victorinox knives, and a tiny lighter that I've modified to accept Victorinox 58mm scale tools, and also act as a repair kit with hard glue and duct tape, and various other ways of squeezing just a little bit more functionality out of Swiss Army knives. But for now, this kit has got to go back to its owner, and I'm very glad I got to spend some time with it before it disappeared. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and I hope to see you again on the Clown's Pocket. All the best. Bye bye.